There's new information that Donald Trump may have used his controversial charity foundation to settle lawsuits that benefited his for-profit businesses, a term called self-dealing, which is against the law. According to the Washington Post, the GOP nominee may have self-dealed using over $258,000 from the Donald J. Trump Foundation to settle 2 lawsuits. In 2007, Trump's Mar-a-Lago club owed $120,000 in unpaid fines to the town of Palm Beach, Florida. The town agreed to waive the fines if Trump donated $100,000 to a veterans charity. The money came from his foundation. In 2010, a golfer who sued Trump's Westchester County, New York courts settled with the club for $158,000 donation to the man's own charity. He was supposed to receive $1 million for a hole-in-one. Trump folks would not pay him. The $158,000 came from the Trump Foundation. Now, Trump and his foundation have been under fire for other questionable uses of charity. He donated $25,000 of a foundation money to a super PAC connected to Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, whose office was considering a fraud investigation into Trump University. Now, Donald Trump's folks have released a statement. But here's what's interesting. I want to read this for you. And let's go back to our panel. This is what the statement says. In typical Washington Post fashion, they've gotten their facts wrong. It is the Clinton Foundation that is set up to make sure the Clintons personally enrich themselves by selling access and trading political favors. The Trump Foundation has no paid board, no management fees, no rent or overhead, and no family members on its payroll. And it goes on and on and on. There's only one problem here. They don't deny it.
No, they don't. Nope. It's typical Trump fashion. You know, I do what I do, and I accuse you of doing what I did to deflect from it. And then, you know, when I make my accusation of you, I totally deflect, and I don't give you any specifics while not denying what you accuse me of doing.
That response must have been written by Kellyanne Conway, because she is the best at flipping the script. She is the best at distraction and taking what should and never addressing, to your point, never addressing the real issues at hand.
That is the story of the Trump campaign. But I have to say, as someone who spent 6 years working against the for-profit college industry, this Trump University story has been the most baffling to me of the election. Both on the state level and on the federal level, we have spent millions of dollars trying to go after this industry, one of which Trump University is actually one of the worst of this very worst industry, and yet this is still somehow not just seen as a cursory issue on the election. This is about frauding not just taxpayers, not just students, and adding more student loan debt to their life. This is actually about frauding the American taxpayers.
Hold tight 1 second. Rosemary Fee is an expert in charity law and attorney at the San Francisco law firm of Adler and Colvin. Do we have her there? Rosemary, what do you make of this? Is this self-dealing? Is this illegal?
Are you talking about what the Trump Foundation's been doing? Or
yes.
Been doing? The Trump Foundation, now I haven't done a personal investigation into the facts, but and I listened to the radio and so on, and it's so based on the information that that's been made available. If that's correct, it seems like there's been quite a bit of self-dealing transactions. Self-dealing is any use of the charitable assets of a private foundation like the Trump Foundation for the benefit of insiders like Trump or any of Trump's companies. And you already gave several examples. I've heard of quite a few more. He promises to give money out of his own pocket, and then it turns out that the pocket he means is actually the charitable dollars of the Trump Foundation.
What should happen next?
Well, one possibility right now there's already the New York Attorney General is investigating the foundation. And so that's quite possibly could result in some findings about diversion of charitable assets from their charitable purposes or self-dealing. But also the self-dealing rules that I was talking about are federal tax rules. And so that means that the IRS would have the authority to go in and audit, and maybe with all the publicity that this is getting, they might. If you have self-dealing and a pattern of it, the Trump Foundation could lose it could be terminated, lose its exempt status entirely. And depending on the nature of the self-dealing, Trump would be expected to also be fined for self-dealing. So it falls both on the foundation and on the self-dealer.
All right, Rosemary, we surely appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Kickstart your day at 7 and get the news you need from the perspective you want. NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Every weekday morning at 7 on TV 1.